Welcome back. Well, this is now going to be a conversation about whether or not I will still have a job in the next few years. Because yesterday, while you were watching the launch of the census, you might have noticed the robot Melo that was doing some of the presentation with the Statistician General. And this is part of a dynamic in which we see artificial intelligence programs like ChatGPT that everyone talks about that could really change the way we produce things, the way we handle information. Tseliso Mohlomi is the Senior Director at the Institute for the Future of Work at the Tshwane University of Technology. Tseliso, good afternoon to you. I mean, I keep being told that AI or artificial intelligence or a robot or Melo is coming for my job, is going to change the world that we live in. Are we seeing some of those changes already?
Hi, Stephen. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are starting to see some of those changes. If you're to remember, recently there was a strike at Hollywood where the producers and the actors went on strike, targeting especially the use of artificial intelligence in their trade. So unfortunately, that's the era that we are living in.
We see, for example, in higher education, I keep thinking of higher education in many ways because we learned yesterday from the census that only 12.7% of people in South Africa actually have a post-matric qualification. We need to really increase that. How could artificial intelligence help us there? How can it help us with higher education?
Look, from the perspective of artificial intelligence, we also need to be looking at what we call the universal access, especially to the internet. Remember that everything that we are talking about from the perspective of technology is based on the ability to access that technology. And therefore, when we speak about the artificial intelligence, we also then need to address the issue around poverty and inequality, which would then actually also touch on the issue of access. However, from the perspective of higher education, I come from TUT, which is the biggest contact university in the country, because at any given time we have about 60 to 68,000 students registered. Now, as the university, we have realized that we need to align what we do with what the fourth industrial revolution epoch is throwing at us. That is preparing our students for the current era that we are in. Now, at the moment, the university came with an initiative called the Institute for the Future of Work, which is basically meant to become the ear of the university in the industry. What the university intends to do is to listen to what the industry wants, but also to look at the technological trends in order to influence our own curriculum design. And then the other aspect from answering your question, TUT wants to position itself as the most digitally advanced university in the country. And so through different programs that we are involved in, we want to move into that direction.
There'll be things that I imagine are pretty obvious, like, for example, higher education often deals with big sets of data. So the marks of, say, first-year students, for example, in a particular subject. Artificial intelligence could probably tell you which students need a little bit of help and why. They're battling in this section, which means that when they get to third year, they're really not going to be able to pass the year. I mean, could we start to see tools like that coming on stream?
One of the projects that we are looking at implementing in Tshwane University of Technology is what we call the Smart Campus. And central to the Smart Campus is the issue around the use, the acquisition, the use and the analysis of data. And I do believe that in the coming year or so, we would have that capability. We do need it so that we would then be able to understand what is it that we can do to prepare our students for the future.
There may be a question around whether or not we need educators at all. I mean, do we still need human beings to teach people in higher education if we've got all of this computing power available?
One of the things, Stephen, that you will realize, there was a time when everyone was punting STEM as something that we need. And in the past 2 years, there has been a change. They added A, which basically speaks to the art. The reality is that you cannot wish away human ingenuity. And yes, we do still need the teachers and the educators because there are particular roles that the artificial intelligence and technology that cannot play, that can only be played by human beings.
So when all of us start to panic about losing our jobs and we see this robot Melo almost taking the role of the statistician general, not quite, but almost yesterday, there's still going to be a space for human beings and our human-based brains.
Yes. Let me basically try to outline what is it that we are trying to do as TUT. I have mentioned that we are the largest university. Through the Institute for the Future of Work, we are saying we have seen a rift happening between the industry and academia. And not only in TUT, not only in South Africa, but globally. And so through the Institute for Future of Work, TUT is saying we need to close that gap. Close the gap in a sense that we understand the technological trends that are happening in the industry. And in partnership with the industry, we are then saying, let's find solution to avert job losses. That is one. Two, we are then saying, let's look at the trends, analyze them, and understand what kind of the skills would we need in the future. And in understanding that, we influence the curriculum discourse in the university. And in doing that, we are then preparing our graduates to be ready for the future. So I do believe that from the sense of higher education, we are playing a greater role to make sure that the myth that there is a fight between innovation and humanity, that we deal with that once and for all. Because once again, as I said, we cannot wish away human ingenuity.
Tseliso Mohlomi, thank you. Senior Director of the Institute for the Future of Work, telling us that we all do still have a future in the world of work. Tseliso, thanks very much indeed.